biggest.
Good evening, everyone. Let's start, call to order our meeting of the Perry Municipal Authority, October 20th, 2014. It is 6:15 p.m. Call it to order. Roll call, please.
Stroller.
Here.
Dow.
Here.
Moxley.
Here.
Marshall.
Here.
Norman. Nation. Wade.
Here.
Warner. Here. Johnson.
Here. I do declare a quorum. Let's have our invocation now. Reverend Josh Kerr is going to do that for us tonight. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you. Let's pray. Eternal God, holy and mighty one, we offer our thanks and praise for the countless gifts of this creation. Especially this day, we give you thanks for the abundant rain of the last 2 weeks. As you, by the rain, nourish the land, may you, through these community leaders, nourish the city of Perry. Make their decisions wise, generous, and life-giving. This we ask in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, who lives and reigns with you in the Holy Spirit, one God, now and forever. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Item 1 is our consent agenda. Does anyone have any comments concerning the consent agenda? What is your question?
Make a motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Roll call, Dixie.
Stroller.
Yes.
Dow.
Yes.
Moxley. Marshall.
Yes.
Wade.
Yes.
Warner. Yes. Johnson.
Yes. Item 4 is comments from those assembled. Would anyone in your audience like to make comments at this time concerning the agenda of the PMA? Seeing none. Proclamations, commendations, reports, and inquiries by the governing body. Item 5, anyone have any inquiries or comment? Seeing none. Item 6 is new business. Does anyone have new business to bring before the PMA? New business. Seeing none, thank you. Item 7, consider renewal of the aviation insurance with ACE Property and Casualty Insurance or through Global Aerospace Pool through Global Aerospace, Inc.
After looking into this a little bit more, Deanna Holt got back in touch with us, and she's recommending that we go with the second year of coverage with ACE Property and Casualty for $2,548. The Global Aerospace quote doesn't provide all the coverages that we currently have under ACE, and so she's recommending, and I also recommend that we go with ACE for the $2,548. And this is the second year of a 3-year agreement, but we can opt out at any time. You know, if we decide next year we don't want to do it, go with someone else, we can opt out. So we're not committed for the full 3 years.
I have a motion.
I'll make the motion, we continue our coverage with ACE Property and Casualty.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Stroller.
Yes.
Dow.
Yes.
Moxley.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Wade.
Yes.
Warner. Yes. Johnson.
Yes.
Item 8, we're going to recess at this time to then convene in our council because items on each are intertwined. So we will need a motion.
Motion to recess.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Stroller.
Yes.
Dow.
Yes.
Moxley.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Wade.
Yes.
Warner. Yes. Johnson.
Yes. Council, people in the audience, we are going to enter into our regular meeting of the Perry Council, the City of Perry, October 20, 2014. I call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Stroller.
Here.
Dow.
Here.
Moxley. Marshall.
Here.
Norman. Nation. Wade.
Here.
Warner. Here. Johnson.
Here. I do declare a quorum. Our first item is our consent agenda, items A, B, C, D, and E. As you can see, item C is our regular reports. If there's any questions or any items that you'd like to ask questions or inquire.
Make a motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Motion second.
Stroller?
Yes.
Dow?
Yes.
Moxley?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Wade?
Yes.
Warner? Johnson?
Yes. Item 4, comments from those assembled. Anyone wish to make comments about for the council this evening? Any comments? Seeing none. Item 5, proclamations, commendation, reports, and inquiries by the governing body. Any inquiries to be made or comments? Proclamation. Seeing none, we'll enter into item 6, city manager's report. Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. A week ago Saturday, we had the city surplus auction, and we grossed $36,000 or plus some change, maybe $36,250, I think. But more importantly, we got rid of a lot of junk, vehicles and just junk in general. And so I'd like to thank local auctioneer TJ Castile, and he's associated with the Wiggins Auctioneers out of Enid, and thought they did a fine job advertising, getting the word out. We had a good turnout, so it might be another, I don't think we'll wait quite as long this time to do another surplus auction, but, you know, in a couple of years, we'll probably be ready to do another one. Public Power Week, we had an open house at City Hall on Wednesday, October 8th. Jennifer Rogers with OMPA was here to help us with our open house at City Hall. And they greeted customers, gave them punch and cookies and freebies and all sorts of things. And I think we had approximately 45 customers that stopped in. Of course, some of them were just paying their bill. And, you know, so I wouldn't, you know, but we were able to talk with them and, you know, give them some additional information. They were all entered into a drawing for LED light bulbs, and those were won by Madison Bole and Sherry D. Toon. So I think that was a good event. Congratulations to Library Director Pam Riggs. She successfully completed her 1-year probationary period with the City of Perry, and so we have a lot of good things going on at the library. The street department has rebuilt and reinforced the salt storage area in preparation for winter, and you might not think that's a big deal, but it's a huge deal because the salt causes lots of corrosion, and it almost compromises the building that we store it in. But we use those huge concrete blocks. I'm trying to remember how heavy Sam said those are, but anyway, they had to, you know, tear all the old out and put the new in, and so there shouldn't be any deterioration of the metal or anything by the salt. So we're now we just have to order the salt and get the salt, which I hear is kind of in short supply. So we're going to get that hopefully ordered and in inventory. Dixie is going to be going to the Clerks Conference in Stillwater Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week, and so we'll miss her at City Hall. Main Street sponsored a downtown decorating contest for the fall and Halloween and whatever else you wanted to celebrate, and they provided bales of hay to those who entered into the contest, and proud to say that our employees at City Hall received 3rd place on their traditional fall entry. And they were pretty excited, and they already have things that they want to do for next year. They want to pick a category that everybody else doesn't enter in. So that's the whole idea, which I thought was pretty
You
smart.
win first by default, or?
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, hey. November 1 is the first day of trout season at CCC Lake. Runs through the end of March. All that you need is a state fishing license and a Perry fishing permit to fish out there. If you want a boat, you have to have a boating permit. And I checked around, or I talked with Doug, our game ranger, and he said the only locations here in Perry that sell fishing licenses, state fishing licenses, is Kennedy's and Walmart. So, and also, you know, the daily permits are available at the lakes. And if you want an annual permit, you need to come to City Hall and get that. But anyway, we'll be geared up and ready. And I've given all the amounts here, but I'm not going to go into all that detail tonight, but just watch for more information in the paper and on PIM.
Who enforces our permits?
We do, but Doug Gottschalk, will be there on behalf of the State Wildlife Department, and so he'll be helping enforce all the regulations, so. And basically, the regulations in terms of limits and all of that we just go along with the state department. And that's really all I have. Great weather. We could can this for later on.
We
No,
might
it's not
just,
helping our utilities.
Oh, I know.
we might just shout out to all the people who purchase or sell fishing equipment and stuff. They might ought to load up on salmon eggs and power baits and that stuff that you use for trout. I have a feeling this is going to grow as more people know about it. I've already got a family of about 10 coming out there who want to fish, so I'm going to be buying a lot of permits. We're looking forward to it in our family, I guarantee you. Go to our financial officer's report. Mr. Mitchell.
Well, it's kind of hard to say, but, the first quarter of the year is already over. For me, it seems like we just finally adopted a budget and we got things started, and here we are, already a quarter down and looking at having to turn around and do this process again in a few months. But I do have good news for you. Our numbers are looking strong. So overall, that's probably the best thing that I can say. As always, we've tried to budget conservatively, keep our revenues under budget, our expenses, keep those, within budget, but budgeting those about as high as we really think they're going to be. So numbers from that standpoint are looking good. We'll see that as we flip over. If you look there on your schedule of cash, this will probably be the last month that we actually see an increase in our cash for a few months. We now go through a little bit of that cooler period, the winter months when we don't sell electricity, we don't sell near as much water. So we've now created our cash reserves for the year, and we will now see those cash reserves kind of dwindle off over the next 3 or 4 months, maybe March. February we'll kind of get closer back to break even. March, April, May, we'll finally start making some money again if everything goes according to plan and historically how we've looked at that. So really look at that as kind of our last month of ramp up in cash. You're not going to see those months coming very often. Our sales tax is holding strong. If you want to look at those budget versus actuals on the city itself, we're running out about right at a little over 29% of our sales tax projection. We should be at 25, so we're staying above our average and above what we would expect to be, even for our 10% savings that we build into that each year. As far as expenses go, all of the departments are within level. There's a couple of seasonality departments, and really those are not even, if you look at our Parks and Rec directly, usually that was a little higher. Our Parks and Rec is not as high as it has been in prior years coming out of the summer months. So that is a good piece to look at. The overall revenue wise, we are going on our 18th month of consecutive $30,000+ collections for hotel motel tax. So since our 8% came up, we're now on our 18th month over $30,000 in hotel motel collections. So that number that we have built, part of our financing off of, and those things that are going is still remaining strong. So that is good news. And Betty, I know you always are curious about that one. So it was just over 30 this month, but we did not drop below 30. So that's kind of our key.
Of course, September was a big month for us.
It's our key measure, as far as what we measure and where we go with that. So again, another number looking good. The rest of the expenditures within the general fund, as you look down through there, are all within budget numbers, all where department heads kind of had expected and wanted to go. I know Sam and I talked this morning just a little bit. Sam didn't make it, but he's a little concerned about one of his budget items, some repairs and maintenance on the Beast that we have out there, and so that's another item that will probably be coming up here in the next month or so that we have to look at. The conveyor belt on it is going down, so that's just kind of a heads up on something that we will have to be addressing at least internally, and for some reason it's nothing really cheap. It's one of those that it costs us out the wazoo whenever it comes time to replacing it. So jumping on over to PMA, if you don't mind, let's sit just a couple of quick thoughts there. As you remember, if you look at our budget, our electric revenues at 30%, that is right on what we would expect for the year. I know I tell you 25%, but because of seasonality, that 30% number is exactly what we would expect it to be at. So we're setting right on budget as far as revenues go. Likewise, we would expect those expenses in electric to be right at 30, and they're just a tick under. So that's good news, meaning that we're still making money in our electric department. The rest of the expenditures by department, as you can see there, are all within limits. The energy office, Mary had originally spoke a little bit about Power Week and those kind of things. The reason we see some of those big expenditures in the energy office expense right now is because of getting ready for that and some of the advertising and payments that we had. So again, corresponding with what she had said, exactly what we would expect to see happening. So again, making money in our PMA. So we're setting strong. As I will say at the beginning, I'll say it again. The next few months, don't worry as that number trends down. It will be okay. We'll come out of it at the end of the winter, and numbers kind of return to normal. We are very thankful for the wet weather that we've had recently. And honestly, I'll give up part of the water sales if we can keep on having a little more rain. So we can budget a little less in water if the good Lord will continue to provide for us. So with that, I'll take any questions you guys have.
Under general government, other category?
Yes.
84,000, 39% of budget.
Yes, that is where those are where the balance of the extra fees come in, and there was a grant dollar between that one also.
So there was a grant that made it so high.
That comes over. But yeah, that's where all of our ancillary fees outside of the franchise taxes and the others come in.
Any other questions or comments need to be made concerning the financial report?
How come hotel and motel tax is not on here anymore? Used to be on here.
Yeah.
It runs to the economic development piece.
It's where?
It's in that economic development revenue in
190.
Department 190. Yeah.
But that doesn't tell us how much we get a month, right?
Well, to date, we've collected $100,000, for this year, we've collected $100,479.
Was it possible though that we could put on there how much we bring in every month?
Yep, I can add.
Okay.
I can add that.
I'll be happy.
Put it in parentheses outside.
All
there.
right,
Monthly
now you're
revenue.
talking.
Would that work?
Yeah.
All right.
That'd be awesome. Kind of looking for it.
Please.
Thank you. Thank you, Betty.
Can do.
Item 8, consider approval of ordinance 2014-10, amending the employee retirement system, defined benefit plan for the city of Perry, Oklahoma, and incorporate the definition of spouse, providing for an effective date, providing for a repealer, severability, and declaring an emergency. We've discussed this before, and we've passed it on, and for thoughts and considerations. This is the decision come through the 10th Federal Circuit Court, and was upheld by the Supreme Court, and they didn't want to hear it. So all cities that have a retirement system similar to ours, or state retirement system, has to declare these ordinances to be in compliance with the decision of the 10th Circuit Court.
What happens if we don't?
Why wouldn't we though?
I'm asking
Well-
a question.
As to, the only thing I heard that could happen is you're just not in compliance. And if you're not in compliance, then there are the avenues of the federal government will come down.
Well, and it affects the other employees, right?
Yeah.
Well, the revenues we have in that fund would no longer be tax exempt. Right now, there's not tax paid on those while they're in the pension system. The tax is paid when you pull the money out based on your age, and like Russ can discuss that, but, you know, that is the big one, and it's a pretty big one.
When, as a state employee, my health insurance and my retirement were taken out of pre-tax dollars. Therefore, I didn't pay taxes on those. And as I draw from my retirement fund from the state, then I do pay taxes on that amount. And so it's like you're not double taxed on it. You know, taxed as an income tax when you're being paid, then taxed again when you withdraw it for your living on Social Security or on your retirement program.
Everybody but churches have to abide by this. I take classes all the time for fair housing, and if I don't abide by it, I can get sued, all kinds of things. So, I mean, you have to prove this. Basically, you have to. Everybody has to.
But I just
And
think,
actually, we're already under the same provision with our health care. We're required to abide by that with our health care.
I just think it's funny how they say you have to pass this, but you have to abide by it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Why should, if they're making it mandatory, what's the point of voting on it? You know?
Well, it's to amend the definition in our plan,
Yeah.
you know, consistent with if it was set up different and it was like, whatever they say goes for us. But apparently the way it's done, you know, our plan is set by ordinance, and you've got to amend the definition of spouse consistent with federal law.
Yeah, when this came up the first time, my first reaction was, heck no, I'm not gonna vote for this, ever. But then you start thinking about what's the consequences of it.
Exactly.
And that's why I think I made the motion to table this, to figure out what that was. And really, if we vote no on this, all the employees now, they still have to contribute, because it's a pension plan, so they don't have a choice to not contribute. So, but now all that money that they would have not been taxed on, now their tax bill goes up every month. So now we're penalizing them.
Yeah, it's not fair to them.
No.
Do I have a motion?
Okay.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second? Do I have a second?
Oh, I thought you were second. Second.
Roll call, please.
Stroller,
Yes, under protest.
Dow,
Yes.
Mochler,
Yes, under protest as well.
Marshall,
Yes.
Wade,
Yes.
Warner. Yes. Johnson.
Yes. Thank you, council. We need to have an emergency attached to this.
Yes.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Have a motion, we have a second?
Second.
Have a second. Roll call, please.
Stroller,
Yes.
Dow,
Yes.
Moxley, Marshall,
Yes.
Wade,
Yes.
Warner. Yes. Johnson.
Yes. Move on to item 9. Authorize the advertisement for bidding of the Commercial Park Construction Access Roadway Project and set a date to receive bids. You see in the background notes there, the time would like to have the bids open and read aloud. Do I have a motion concerning this, or questions or comments?
I make a motion to go out for bids.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Stroller,
Yes.
Dow.
Yes.
Moxley.
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Wade,
Yes.
Warner. Yes. Johnson.
Yes. Item 10, consider approval of First Amendment to the Economic Development Agreement with RSM LLC with the Certificate of Deposit Guarantee agreeing to substituting for performance bond requirements. Instead of having a performance bond, they've set up a cash amount.
What's the difference? I mean, what's the difference? in-
Well, the difference is that we get money if they don't timely perform, as opposed to a performance bond, which would cost them a whole lot more money, and we wouldn't get any money from it. It would guarantee the performance. I mean, the whole reason for having this bond is our comfort level with the project. And the truth is, I would say at this point, we have a very good comfort level with this project, okay? Notwithstanding that, we've still got a certificate of deposit guarantee agreement, which ensures that this thing is not only done, but it's done timely. And if it's not, then we end up not only selling the property for what we sold it for, but we end up getting $100,000. I would say the basic thing is that, you know, when this first started, you know, our comfort level was one thing. It's much, much stronger now. I mean, we've taken this through all of our regulatory reviews. They've all been approved. It's my understanding today, Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, you got 100% of the drawings done?
Yeah.
And those are out and.
They should be out for bids today.
And bids are gonna be coming. So this is a real deal, and this is coming. This is actually, and I know that we just approved the other one on Vance, but this one appears to be, I mean, Vance is coming, but this one is coming now, you know, so.
So the 100,000, do we get that no matter what?
No, we get it if they fail to perform within 18 months of July 16, 2014, and then only paid in a certain way, under the terms of that bond.
And they're buying the land, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just a little bit more guarantee for us,
Okay.
that,
We get some
and
relief if they
and it's
don't.
quite frankly, less for them, because the performance bond on the size of project, the multi-million-dollar project that they've had would be very expensive, so, and the truth is that, you know, we put that performance bond in there in the beginning. I've said this from the beginning, I never expected it to survive. And I always expected it to be amended because it's not the kind of obligation that you would normally require. It's very onerous on the person, and we've gotten a whole lot better feeling now about where this is going.
Okay.
And where it's going is out there in the park, and it's going to be start building soon.
Make a motion to approve the amendment?
Second.
Motion is second. Roll call, please.
Stroller.
Yes.
Down.
Yes.
Moxley.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Wade.
Yes.
Warner.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Item 11 on the agenda is consider approval of work order number 3.
Yes, if we could, Mayor.
Oh,
Matt, come up if we want to sign.
We'll sign, get a seal on it now. The people in the audience, this is Matt Azure Johnson. He represents RSM.
All the Johnsons. Dixie's in here.
Yeah. This is some sort of,
He's one of them northern Johnsons. I'm one south.
Southern Johnson.
I'm from the west.
Yeah, she's from the west, though.
One of them Foreman Johnsons.
Dixie Foreman.
Yeah, her husband and I are not related either. Whether I'd want to be or not, he wouldn't go to it.
Need about 10 of them there. I want to eat 2 of them. 2 of them.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you selecting Perry.
Yes, that is both of
Yeah,
them
it's all.
for you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're going to have to get you another free pen.
I know, oh, Meg. I love these things,
Thank you, Matt.
and they're free.
Thank you, Council.
Well, maybe not.
Item 11 now. Consider approval of work order number 3 to the Master Services Agreement for Professional Services with Garber LLC. Garber is performing services on our downtown square claim for us as our professional engineer. And they're requesting this work order number 3. Shane Smith represents them. He's not here tonight, but y'all know. So, Mary,
This should
do
be
you
the-
need to explain?
This should be the last one, assuming that we're able to reach agreement, settlement agreement with the parties, with the other parties. We just didn't quite, needed a little bit more, and this should take care of the rest of that project.
Motion to approve work order number 3.
Second.
Motion to second. Roll call, please.
Stroller?
Yes.
Down?
Yes.
Moxley?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Wade?
Yes.
Waters?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes. Now, presentation of quarterly report, Jason McCarty, Code Enforcement Officer, direct action as deemed advisable. Jason?
Thank you, Mayor, council members. It's the code enforcement quarterly report for the third quarter of 2014, consisting of the months July, August, and September. Changed up my report a little bit this time. I put the numbers first instead of the last, but I had 66 total notices this quarter, 47 warnings, 1 citation written, for a total of 114 different code totals. And as expected, the majority of those were for high grass and weeds, 67 of those. Still some open storage out there, I had 17 on that. 12 on the trash accumulation, 5 on the junk vehicles, and 13 miscellaneous violations that are in the ordinances. This quarter I added 8 different buildings to the dilapidated notice, or the dilapidated list that we're working on. So for the year so far, 2014, we've got 315 total code warnings and notices sent out. And my totals for the buildings are up to 44 total buildings that I've added on the dilapidated list that we've been working on. Some of the notes from the third quarter, the dog days of summer. The Johnson grass was always an issue. It never really went away. It seems like our range just kept timing themselves perfectly to keep everything growing. But I think for the most part, the citizens of Perry did a really good job of keeping everything mowed. The most things I've been dealing with is fence lines, easements, alleyways, things like that. Areas that a lot of times people just tend to either overlook or say, I'll get it next weekend, and then it ends up being 3 months and the weekend never happened for you. But pretty understanding about that, as long as they get it done once they get a warning or something. But that's what I dealt with mostly. There's still a lot of tree branch piles out there. Along with the tree branch piles, there's the drought and heat that we had over the past few years has caused a lot of trees to die, and it's been a lot more noticeable this year than it has been in the past. But I haven't hit too hard on those yet with the heat and the weeds that grow up around those brush piles. I figured I'd give them a little bit more time until everything started dying off and the critters went away for the winter, and then I started hitting on those branch piles and try to focus on getting rid of some of those things. And other things from the third quarter, open storage, especially of household items on front porches or just in the yard in general. I've had a lot of that I've been dealing with. Dilapidated storage and accessory buildings in the backyard. A lot of times people forget that those have to be maintained as well. They do a good job keeping their house up, but they forget about that old 10 by 20 shed or 10 by 14 storage shed that is leaning real bad, about to fall over with the high gust of wind. All that stuff has to be maintained as well. So I've talked to a lot of people about fixing those up. Just the trash around their pickup areas, especially for the people who aren't using our polycar system to have their own cans and things. And the animals can get at those a lot easier. And people just need to remember that they need to get out there and pick that up. They can get a ticket for leaving all that trash out in the alleyway. Even if the animals got in, you know it's your neighbor's dog that's doing it, and you can't quite catch him, but you know it's him, you still got to get out there and pick up that trash. What to expect in the fourth quarter? Again, the dying trees, I'm going to be identifying, especially ones that are on corners, on streets and alleyways that are potentially going to take out the neighbor's fence, take out the neighbor's carport, our electric lines. If there's any kind of hazard to anything, safety or property, I'm gonna be sending notices on those and try to get people to get those cut down before the ice or snow takes it down. Visual impairments and clearances on trees over sidewalks or over the alleys or in the alleys. I've got several alleys where you can just see them having to go around the growth that's out there. People are required to clean that up, and the trash guys should not be having to drive around it. They should be driving down where the alley's supposed to be, not around everything. So I'm gonna be looking at some of those areas and focusing on that this upcoming quarter. As always, when the leaves fall, a lot more things are exposed. Some of the vehicles that I can see, if they're junk or abandoned, I'm gonna be hitting on those a little bit more this quarter. As always, people receiving a notice will have 10 days to remove the hazard as violation, or give me a call and work something out. A lot of times you can't get it done in 10 days, but if you call me and say, I could get it done, but it won't be until the weekend after or something, I will work with you. I just want things cleaned up. That's the goal for the city, is get things cleaned up. So if you get a notice, you can't get in those 10 days, call me and I will work something out. If you don't call me, that's when I have to take other measures. And my contact information out at City Hall, my door is always open. If I'm there, come up and talk with me and we'll come up with a solution. My phone number is 336-3416. Leave me a message and I will get back with you on anything. Anybody have any questions for me?
I have a question. If we have somebody who's like elderly and they can't move something, is there some way the city could come and move something for them?
If all other avenues have been searched, there's a lot of organizations out there that I try to contact that will come and help. A lot of organizations belong to different religious organizations, things like that. They have contacted me, said if you ever have anybody who needs special help like that, let us know. If it's within our means to do so, we will help. But normally we try not to have the city crews do that because that's costing the city, we're using the city's dollar to do that. And we do it for one person, then we're expected to do it for everybody. The next thing you know, we're spending all our money helping everybody instead of where they're supposed to be, fixing potholes and things like that. So. But in a nutshell, if that's the only thing that we could do to get something done, I will talk with the city manager about it and see what her opinion is on it.
Jason does have a good list of people who, do that for a living, haul things away. You can take things out to the convenience center at no charge. And so, if someone doesn't know, isn't aware of who could possibly do that for them, either volunteer or pay, Jason's a good resource to contact at City Hall to find out. So, and I would make a comment. Betty and I attended the Red Carpet Country meeting in Ponca City last week, and one of the things that was really hammered on that communities need to work on is code enforcement, because tourists, when they come to your town, they want to see a nice town. And whether they come back or not may depend on whether they saw, a nice community that's cleaned up, that, has taken pride in their buildings. And we don't have to all have, $150,000 homes, it's just, take care of what you have, basically, is the message that we're trying to get out. And, and Jason does a great job whenever, someone needs a little extra time or, tries to, he works with them really well. And so just stop in, he's available, he does have an open door, and he's always willing to visit. And, if you're wanting to know, what they need to do to get things taken care of, Jason can provide information on that too. So that, what does the code require? That's information that, before you just go do something, check with him first to make sure that what you're going to do is going to comply with the code. Because we don't want to have to, ask someone to redo what they've, done and go to the extra expense and the extra time. So.
And I think Main Street's done a really good job keeping the downtown looking nice, and looks very festive right now too.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Item 13, new business. Is there any new business to be brought before the council this evening? New business. Seeing none. Item 14, consider convening into executive session between the governing body and the city attorney concerning lawsuit pending in District Court, Noble County, State of Oklahoma, styled in the City of Perry versus Embry Hodgson Construction LLC and Land Plan Consultants LLC. Case number CJ 2014-32. If the governing body, with the advice of the city attorney, determined that disclosure would seriously impair the ability of the governing body to process the claim in public interest and to confer on matters pertaining to economic development of the city of Perry, Oklahoma, pertaining to the Otoe Missouri tribe, and pertaining to the industrial storage yard economic development lease in the Perry Industrial Park, as public disclosure would interfere with the development, implementation of agreement and lease pursuant to Title 25 of the Oklahoma Statutes 307C10. Do I have a motion?
I make the motion, we convene in executive session.
Second. Roll call, please.
Stroller?
Yes.
Dow?
Yes.
Moxley?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Wade?
Yes.
Warner?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Say what?
Here,
Okay, I'll go back.
Huh?
Need a motion to reconvene?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Stroller?
Yes.
Dow?
Yes.
Moxley?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Wade?
Yes.
Warner?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes. We need to go to item 9 to reconvene into our municipal authority meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Oh,
I gotta get all the way back.
oh, she's got to make the trail. You don't remember the page number?
Okay.
I think.
Item 9.
I think I just.
And I second.
15, that's item 15.
No, mine.
Okay, ready for that.
Now we're going to
Yeah.
PMA.
Stroller?
Yes.
To reconvene. Dow?
Yes.
Moxley?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Wade?
Yes.
Warner?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes. Sorry, Bill, you were correct.
No, that's wrong. Don't say it very often though.
I thought I was wrong once, but I was
Oh,
mistaken.
yeah, I was just thinking, that's what I was fixing to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are
I was just thinking
in
about my wife.
session for the PMA. Item 10 is to consider action on the intermodal agreement. I said intermodal, that's wrong, that's a highway term.
Close.
Intergovernmental agreement after, with the Otoe tribe of Oklahoma.
I'll make the motion to pass the agreement of the intergovernmental agreement between the Otoe Missouri Tribe and the Perry Municipal Authority.
Second.
Roll call, Dixie?
Stroller?
Yes.
Dow?
Yes.
Moxley?
No.
Marshall?
Yes.
Wade?
Yes.
Warner?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes. Item 11 of the municipal authority meeting.
Adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second, roll call, please.
Yeah, well,
Stroller? Dow?
Yes.
Moxley?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Wade?
Yes.
Warner?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes. Now we need to go to item 16.
Do we have to reconvene?
Yeah.
No.
No, we
No,
never
we already
recessed.
We recess, okay.
I'll make the motion that we concur with the decision that we made in the PMA with the Otoe Missouri Tribe.
Second.
Stroller?
Yes.
Dow?
Yes.
Moxley? Marshall?
Yes.
Wade,
Yes.
Warner,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Item 18.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Sherler.
Yes.
Dow.
Yes.
Mosley.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Wade.
Yes.
Warner.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll see you.